Hello, my name is Brandon Reed, and welcome to my channel, Speducation. So, the purpose of this channel I'm going to get into, but before we do that, I just want to introduce myself and let you know a little bit about me. The first thing that you need to know about me is that I am what they call a triple threat. What? What does that mean? Well, basically, in sports or in theater, a triple threat is anybody that has multiple skills. Okay. In my case, in regards to education, I'm a triple threat because I was born with a learning disability. I teach students with learning disabilities, and I have a child with a learning disability. So I can see all sides of the table, which is sometimes rare. You may have a special ed teacher that has a child with a learning disability, but they never grew up with a learning disability themselves. You may have a person that has a learning disability and they have a child with a learning disability, but they don't necessarily teach special education. So having somebody with all three of those things, it's kind of rare. And that's part of the reason why I went into special education was because I am unique. And because I'm so unique, I'm able to help others like myself. A little bit more about me. I know what it's like. Like I said, I grew up with a learning disability. And if you've ever wondered what it's like, it's hard to explain because unless you've actually had a learning disability growing up, you can't really know what it's like. And for me, I know what it's like. I grew up with a learning disability and I wasn't diagnosed until I was in elementary school. And before then, teachers just assumed that I was, wasting time. I was lazy. I daydreamed a lot. I was constantly getting into trouble, or I just basically was dumb or stupid. And in fact, I was called that many times. And for a lot of people, the thing is that when you are young, it's hard to remember things from first grade or second grade or third grade. And the things that stick with a lot of people are the teachers that, really inspired them, that made them feel good about themselves. And I do have teachers like that. There's a teacher, Mr. Farrell, who taught me in high school. He helped get me interested in education and teaching, actually. He was my social studies teacher, and he saw that passion that I had for social studies and history, and he helped fuel it. But for me, the teachers that had the most profound impact are the ones that actually made me feel terrible. And there was a kindergarten teacher that I had, and she made me feel terrible. I remember actually in first grade, this teacher, I had been sent out of the art classroom because I wasn't coloring my paper the right way. Instead of going up and down, I was going side to side because in my mind, I thought side to side, I can cover a lot more. Of course, that wasn't what the teacher wanted, and I was sent out. And I remember vividly my classroom teacher coming to pick up the class and she coming around the corner, seeing me, and literally rolling her eyes, going, what did you do? Seriously, what could you have done now? You know what? Save it. I don't have time to deal with you. Just sit there, shut up, and wait for me to come out. And that's exactly what she said. And it stuck with me because it made me feel terrible. But it's because of that teacher that I am the person that I am today, that I don't want another person to feel that way, to feel the way that I felt. And so, as someone who's grown up with a learning disability, I can really relate to my kids. So that's a part of the reason why I went into special education. Another reason why I went into it. So, what is the purpose of this channel? Well, the purpose of this channel is to inform you about special education. It's more directed towards parents, but students and teachers can learn from it too, hopefully. And the one thing that I learned as a special ed teacher is that parents don't know that much about special education, if anything at all. And what a lot of people don't know, including parents, is special ed teachers, we have a lot of power. Because if we know special education and you don't, then that puts us in a more authoritative power position. And because of that, we could say whatever you know, basically, this is what's best for your kid. And a lot of parents, they just go with it because they don't know any better. But to me, I think the more informed a parent is, the more invested the parent is going to be in their child's education. And that's why whenever I do case conferences, whenever I talk with parents, I try to make sure that they understand completely what is going into an IEP, what their child is learning, what they're struggling with, because I want them to be a team member. I want them to be able to help us out because as much as we know about the child, we know probably only a fraction of anything about that child because we didn't raise them, but the parents did, and they know the child best. So the purpose of this channel is to help those parents that don't know that much about special education, help them understand it better. And hopefully you will. And hopefully you like the channel and you'll keep coming back. So what will we be talking about on this channel? Well, we're going to be talking about a lot of things. First, what is special education? What are the different types of disabilities? What are the different types of services? What are our parents' rights in regards to special education for their children? What is an IEP? What does an IEP stand for? How do I know if my child needs an IEP? And what is a case conference, etc. There is a lot to cover in special education, and each time I make a video, I'm going to cover a little bit of it. I don't expect the videos to be long because I like to try to keep them concise. Something that I've learned is that a person's attention span is plus or minus 5 minutes based upon their age. That's why middle school students are such a great group of kids because they're 12 years old. Their attention span is 12 minutes, plus or minus 5 minutes here and there. So trying to keep their attention and focus, that is just a wonderful job. But it's why I do what I do. So I'm going to try to keep the videos short and sweet for you so that you don't get lost or get too bored with it. First, though, what is special education? Well, simply put, the educational definition of it is special education is the practice of educating students in a way that accommodates their individual differences, disabilities, and special needs. Basically, when it comes down to it, special education is individualized. The main thing, I want you to take a look at these pictures that I'm going to show you. Okay, this is an example of kind of what I do as a special ed teacher. I try to use different forms. One form is audio, okay, because I'm speaking to you. The next form is video, visual, visual learning. And this is an example of visual learning. And then the other form is kinesthetic. I can't really do a lot of kinesthetic with you unless you're writing stuff down as we're talking. If you're doing that, you're doing kinesthetic. If not, well, then you're at least getting audio and visual. So I want you to take a look at this picture. Now I want you to take a look at this picture. Now I want you to take a look at this picture. What do each of these pictures have in common? I want you to think about it. Did you think about it? Well, let's find out if you got it right. The main thing about these pictures is that they're all examples of the idea that one size does not fit all. Okay? That is what special education is. Special education is not a one size fit all thing. It is individualized. Okay? Special education means individualized. Okay? We are all unique. All right? And because of this, we all need unique help. And that's what we do as special ed teachers. I think Michael J. Fox said it best. If a child can't learn the way we teach, then we need to teach the way they learn. And as somebody who grew up in special ed, this is gold because I had struggles understanding how to do math problems whenever we started getting into equations and X's and Y's, I was lost. Because for me, math does not involve letters, it is numbers. 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 times 4 is 16, 8 divided by 4 is 2. That's it. But when you start putting in 2x plus 5 equals 12, where in the heck did that x come from? And what does that mean? So I was completely lost. But my teachers noticed that and they broke the problem down into parts. They individualized my education so that I understood it better. And the thing is that when we talk about individualized, that also means that just because two students have a reading comprehension disability does not mean that they both have the same type of disability. Yes, they may have difficulty with reading comprehension, but one student may have difficulty with being able to identify the main idea within a passage because they have difficulty with details and with understanding the author's point of view. The other student that has a reading comprehension disability may have problems with decoding and understanding what specific words mean and how those words relate to other words in the passage. So even though they both have a reading comprehension disability, the point is that each one has a different type of disability within that. Reading comprehension is the umbrella, and specifically what it is that they're having difficulty with in reading comprehension, that is what special education is about. Identifying what specifically the problem is and being able to come up with plans to overcome it. So, having said that, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I didn't bore you too much. And I promise as I get better with this whole YouTube podcasts, video, YouTube thing, I'm going to try to be more creative and throw in some things. And if you have any questions or any comments or anything that you would like to ask, please feel free to comment in the video or in the comment section, and then I'll try to answer those questions in future videos. If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button for notification on future videos. I'm going to try to put out a new video once a week, but I am an educator, so some weeks might be skipped over. But again, if you like and subscribe, you will be notified when I do post those videos. Thank you for your time. Hope you enjoyed it. Class dismissed.